What's up, guys? So the 2016 NFL Draft is just around the corner. It's 4 days away now, and I hope y'all are as excited as I am. I'm going to do a quick mock draft here for you guys. I'm sorry I didn't do one earlier, but with all the big trades and stuff that have been going around, I can't make an accurate draft until now because, teams are picking in different spots. I created the drafted players and put them on the team that drafted them just so you could kind of see what they're all about while I talk about them. If their college number wasn't available, I just gave them a number that they could possibly wear. So yeah, here it is. Without further ado, my top 10 picks. Enjoy. Alright, so the LA Rams traded for with the Tennessee Titans for the first overall pick, and with it, all signs are leading to them picking Jared Goff, the quarterback out of Cal. They could go Carson Wentz here, but like I said, all signs are that they're going to pick Goff here. He's a pretty solid quarterback. He started for 3 years at California, and in those 3 years, he put up 12,195 passing yards, 62% completion, 96 touchdown passes. 43 of those came in his breakout 2015 season. He's a really solid quarterback, and I'm excited to see him develop in the NFL. People are comparing him to Matt Ryan. That's really high praise, but we'll see if he can live up to it. In my opinion, I think he can, but there's no way to really tell yet, so we'll have to wait and see. The Eagles traded with the Browns to get the second overall pick, and with that pick, I think that they're going to take Carson Wentz, the quarterback out of North Dakota State University. They could go Jared Goff too, depending on who the Rams take first overall, but in this scenario, the Rams get Goff, so the Eagles get Wentz. You can't go wrong either way, though, honestly. They're both solid quarterbacks. There's been some questions because Goff came from North Dakota State University, which is a small campus, and the competition wasn't as high as it was for other quarterbacks, but that hasn't been a problem for other quarterbacks coming out of college, like Ben Roethlisberger from Miami, Ohio, and Joe Flacco from the University of Delaware, so it will likely turn out okay for Carson Wentz. A lot of people have been comparing him to Cam Newton, but like with Goff, that's really high praise, so we'll have to wait and see how he turns out. He put up pretty solid numbers for the Bison in his 4-year collegiate career, including 64% completion, 5,115 yards, 45 touchdown passes, 1,028 rushing yards, 4.8 per carry, and 13 touchdown runs. Alright, with the third overall pick, I have the San Diego Chargers selecting Laramie Tunsil out of the University of Ole Miss. I have him wearing number 77 on this just because 78 wasn't available. I didn't feel like going and messing with it. But yeah, he's playing left tackle. And I have them picking Laramie Tunsil because he's the best offensive lineman in the draft. And as Phillip Rivers gets up in age, the Chargers really need to make sure that he's protected. Plus, it wouldn't hurt to have Melvin Gordon with a good running back to try to help him improve. And they could go defense right here since they lost Eric Weddle at safety. They could go get Jalen Ramsey to help fix that secondary. Or they could go get Miles Jack or Joey Bosa. But I think that they go Laramie Tunsil to make sure that Phillip Rivers has some solid protection in his final several years as a quarterback in the NFL, and they can make the most out of such a talented quarterback. Alright, so at the fourth overall pick in the draft, I have the Dallas Cowboys taking Joey Bosa, the defensive end out of the University of Ohio State. This guy was a literal beast at college, and I expect him to be the same in the NFL. They could also go Jalen Ramsey here because their defense has gotten picked on, and he's one of the top corners in the draft, if not the. But there were some reports that they weren't impressed with Jalen Ramsey, so I think that they go Joey Bosa here because, he's just a raw talent that it's hard to pass up on. There were some controversies from him in college. He was suspended for the beginning of the 2015 season for poor conduct. I think it was a drug-related thing. And he was ejected from their bowl game versus Notre Dame for hitting the quarterback of Notre Dame with the crown of his helmet. But the Cowboys have shown that they don't care about controversies, especially by signing Greg Hardy and picking Randy Gregory last year. But yeah, I expect Joey Bosa to go here, and he's going to be probably really great in the NFL, and I'm excited to see him develop. Alright guys, so with the 5th overall pick in the draft, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking Jalen Ramsey, the defensive back out of Florida State University. With the Knowles, this guy was a force to be reckoned with. In his 3 seasons, he put up 122 tackles, 5 sacks, and 3 interceptions. Those are pretty solid numbers for a college athlete, and I think that he can really help the Jaguars. Their offense has been really improving. Blake Bortles, Allen Robinson, Allen Hurns, their whole offense has just been really coming together, and their defense is going to do the same. I think this team is going to be kind of the wild card team, maybe a little bit like the Panthers were last year. I think they could really get it done if they can put the pieces together, and I think selecting this guy to really anchor their secondary is the first step. So with my 6th overall pick in the draft, I have the Baltimore Ravens taking DeForest Buckner, the defensive end out of the University of Oregon. This guy was an absolute freak in college. He put up 109 tackles, 18 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles in his 4 years at Oregon. He is an athletic freak. He's got rare size, rare talent. And just a fun fact, he's tied for the biggest hand in combine history. Just all around a giant guy, and I think he can really help the Ravens get back on track. They were stricken by injuries last season, and their defense got absolutely bullied by opponents. I think he can really help refocus that defense, be an anchor for them, and I think that he can help Baltimore be successful and return to a playoff team for years to come. With the 7th overall pick in the draft, I say that the 49ers take Miles Jack, the outside linebacker out of the University of UCLA. They could also go quarterback right here, but with Goff and Wentz off the board, the best available quarterback is Paxton Lynch, and I think taking him this high is a bit of a reach. They could go offensive lineman, but I think that they just take the best available player in Miles Jack. One of my favorite players in the draft. He has a rare combination of size and speed. At outside linebacker, he put up 117 tackles, 1 sack, 4 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. He was a force, a giant force at UCLA, and I think he'll be pretty solid in the NFL with that combination of size and speed. There are some people scratching their heads because he has a knee injury, so he's a bit of a risk, but it's a high risk and a high reward pick, and I think that the 49ers are ready to take it and get their team back on track. With the 8th overall pick in the draft, I have the Browns taking Ezekiel Elliott, the running back out of Ohio State University. This pick is kind of crazy, but it makes perfect sense to me. The Browns' new coach, Hugh Jackson, loves to run the ball, and I think he'd love to get a running back like Ezekiel Elliott that's shown that he can play through tackles and he's quick and can get the job done. I think Hugh Jackson would love to get a running back like that in his first year. In Ezekiel Elliott's 3 years at Ohio State, he put up 3,961 yards on 6.7 yards a carry and 43 touchdowns. Now, if those stats don't show what Ezekiel Elliott is all about, I don't know what will. We all saw him tear apart Oregon's defense in the national championship game at the beginning of 2015. We hope we can see that same kind of production as a pro because he's proven that he can get the job done at the collegiate level. With the 9th overall pick in the draft, I have the Tampa Bay Bucks selecting Vernon Hargreaves, the cornerback out of Florida. This guy is very promising at the cornerback position. In his 3 years with the Gators, he put up 81 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 10 interceptions. That is huge production. Pretty much everyone that I've seen has Vernon Hargreaves going here because he could really be a nice addition to the Tampa Bay defense that hasn't really worked in the past few seasons. They've kind of gotten bullied. And with Jameis Winston developing on offense, I think that he could really help the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense develop and they could become a solid NFL team. With the 10th and final pick in this mock draft, I have the New York Giants selecting Ronnie Stanley, the offensive tackle out of the University of Notre Dame. I have him wearing number 66 just because 78, his college number, was not available. The Giants have already said they want to address their offensive line first and foremost in this draft, and I think Ronnie Stanley is the perfect guy to add for that. Kind of like Phillip Rivers and the situation in San Diego, Eli Manning is getting up there in age, and the Giants want to do whatever they can to help him benefit in his last few seasons of his career. Ronnie Stanley is the perfect guy for that job. He could help protect Eli Manning for his final few seasons, and I think that he could really help the Giants benefit from him being there. So those are my predicted top 10 picks for the 2016 NFL Draft. I really like those picks with their teams, and I think that they could all be successful in the NFL. So thank you guys for watching, and make sure to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and have a great day. See ya.